What's up YouTube? This is Shank from Unishank, and today I'm continuing my series How to Play Chess for Beginners. This is the second installment of this series. In this video, I'll be talking about the special rules of Passant and castling. So let's begin. So as you can see in this position, we have a king, two rooks, just a sec. We have we have one rook, we have a king, and we have space between them. We have emptied the knight and the bishop here. So, according to the chess rule of castling, what you can essentially do in this position is move two pieces in one move. So, what happens is your king moves two squares and then the rook comes just beside it. So, this is called castling. Castling is mostly used for safeguarding the king, as there's going to be a lot of mess in the middle game, that is the mid part of the game, in which uh, the center will be very much involved. And if the king stays in the center, it could have a potential attack on itself, right? So, so castling helps in that way. Now, when can we castle, right? We can castle under. We can castle. We can't castle actually. We can't castle if the following parameters are there. If there's a piece that is obstructing any of the two squares of the king, like this square or this square, if any piece is obstructing the square or controlling these squares, that is not our piece, opponent's piece, we can't castle. We are in a check, we can't castle. We have already moved our king once, we can't castle. Our rook has moved once, we can't castle. These are the parameters under which we can't castle. So let's do three examples on castling and then we'll come to the next rule. So pretty much the same position, right? Just there I did one moves. So as I told you, two squares and then the rook comes beside it. There are actually two castlings, short castle and long castle. The one which you do in the right side, that this castle is called a short castle, and there's one castling where after you empty all these pieces you can do castle on the left side too, right? So let's solve this one. This is the exact example which I was talking about. This is the long castle. Instead of castling there, you're castling here. Still the same thing, you just move two squares and the rook comes beside it, right? So, and as I told you, you need to empty all your pieces. You have to move all your pieces from there. So empty your knight and castle. So let's talk about the next rule, or passant or en passant. So let's create a situation for it. Yes, this is a situation where you can do en passant or en passant. So if the pawn was not able to move two squares, it would have to move here and then come here, right? And when it comes there, there's a scope of this pawn taking it. So the French in the 15th century thought that it's kind of unfair, right? The pawn came ahead all the way from here to here to obstruct this pawn, and the pawn just went to square and skipped completely this pawn, because of which the rule en passant came into place. In this rule, when the pawn moves to square, you can take it. You can go here and take it as if you normally would take the pawn if it was here. In the same way, you'll take the pawn even if it's on f5. So the parameters in which we can't do an en passant is uh, the opponent has gone one square and then came the second square. In that parameter, en passant won't work. Or they directly played a move, then we played some other move, and on the next move we try to do en passant, it won't work, as en passant only works on the move where this incident happens. right? So let's do some examples on en passant or en passant too. Let's have it loading. Yes. So they skipped completely the square where we would normally take the pawn, right? This d6 square. If you think it that way, it's kind of unfair, right? The pawn came all the way ahead, trying to restrict the movement of that pawn, and the pawn's like, yeah, no danger. So because of that, this rule was invented. You can take like that, right? And passant only works immediately after. Yes, as I told you, it will only work immediately after this move. So this move won't work, whereas this will, as I just played this pawn. But this pawn was probably played like a move or two ago, right? So it won't work. So here we can take this pawn, and it will only work when white's pawn is on the fifth rank or the black's pawn is on the fourth rank, right? Where you can take it. And the final position. Let's So guys, that's it for today's video. You have mastered castling and opposite or en passant. Like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content, and do share it too. Thank you.